Hear ye, all beginners. If you're a beginner watercolorist, here are some things that I wish I had done differently. And first, when I first started learning watercolor, today we're going to be doing a beautiful fluffy bouquet of flowers, and I hope you relax into it. If you have a free class, it will be linked below, so check that out too. But let's get to painting. Let's spray down. And I've got my 8 and 12 brushes today. My water, my palette here is ready. I've got my 5x8 sketchbook, not watercolor, for that art journaling experience, friends. Use the paper that you want, that you love. I like not to have anxiety when I paint, and so I use the cheaper paper when I feel like it, and the more expensive when I feel like it. Up to you. So let's start with the 12, and we're just, we wet the brush. I am going to start with some orange. So we've got some beautiful oranges for this composition. And some red is in there, whatever orange you want, just swirl that brush. Kind of a medium value, not too runny, not too thick. And we'll start, let's see, let's put an orange flower right here. Side of the brush, we're just gonna swoop down to create some thin petals, and we're just gonna go around the clock like this. This is our middle. Using the side of the brush will give you more of a rounded petal. So thicker and thinner strokes are absolutely fine. And make them wispy, let them be. Let's do another one. I'm grabbing some red, just kind of flowing in there. If you'd like, you can do that too. I'll put another one here. Slightly different orange color. And of course, today we are talking about some things that I wish I had done first as a watercolor beginner. So what does that mean? Well, one of which would have been to use cheap paper for practice. Now, I am not going to be upset with you if you use expensive paper to practice. And goodness knows, I really understand why. Clean brush, dab it. If you got too much, just lift some paint. But here's the thing. I hear a lot of artists that say you should only use expensive paper, watercolor paper. And that's not even just like pulp paper, which is the cheaper version, but more expensive cotton paper for practice, just so that you can feel really confident in your skills and, feel like you're getting the best results. Well, here's the thing. I tried that little thing, and for me, it's more about getting that muscle memory practice. If you can afford the expensive stuff, you should do it. Go for it if you want to. But I didn't have a budget for that. So I know there's a lot of you that really struggle with this idea or this rule. You need to get that muscle memory happening. I've had paintings where I loved how they turned out. Let's do yellow. Way more on the cheaper paper than on the expensive, just because I wasn't anxious and worried about wasting my supplies. We're going under. We're doing upside down. So we're kind of slowly curving this around and tucking it in right there. For just a nice little floral that's a little bit smaller, side facing. So I'm just adding in, we've got some crazy blooms here, that's okay. We're gonna add in other layers over the top. We're really getting great practice today. But, I just wanted to share with you guys some things that I kind of wish, I had done first, because I was floundering. I didn't know where to go. First, there's so much to learn. Yellow ochre, pretty thick paint. You can see that there. I'm just going dark right from the get-go. Side of the brush. A little bud there. Let's do another one here. All right, so I'm just starting to fill this in with some pretty shapes, pretty colors. And, I'm going to do some roses here too. So really simple. Start really thin, make a little circle. And then I just start going around the circle with some little half circles. Just, let it be wonky. So I'm holding the brush pretty far back from the tip. And I'm just going around, little wonky, leaving some white space. See? Not perfect at all. But I'm just filling in this bouquet with some fun rose fluffiness shapes, shall we say. And then I'm going to do a second one here. So the second thing, oh, before I do the second thing, I wanted to tell you guys, I made a cheaper paper and expensive paper video some years back. So I'm going to link it below. Check that out and it will come up next after you watch this video, something to check out. And I tested a bunch of cheap papers and more expensive, painting the same thing over and over. Heck, I even painted on printer paper and grocery bags, like really, just to see, and you can definitely see a difference for some and others not so much. The point is risk-free painting and not stressing and not worrying. It's great. So you can watch that video next if you'd like. All right, so we're gonna do our vase now, and I wanna make it fairly wide, and I'm gonna make it clear. I always like to do my small brush. Woo, I missed that jar. I don't know how I miss it. Yikes. And I like to use like a blue or a turquoise to do this. So swirling that brush, and then we're just going to do kind of a very, like a wide square, shall we? Okay, because why not? And we've got the sun coming and going, so we're going to have changes in light, and it's nothing we can do about it. So anyway, just so you know, in and out. I'm glad the sun is trying to show its face. All right, some curved little shapes for just some contours of that vase. Very, very sketchy. That's how I like to do it. I like to be sketchy with my vases, not with life. All right, and I'm leaving this here because I want to put some greens in there. So just a few little, for reflections in the glass. So what are we doing here? Well, we're going to start adding in some stems, but also some cool, like kind of eucalyptus-y stuff. So let's grab some paint. I've got this mixture of random stuff. I don't know. There's some sap green, there's some olive green in here, but I'm going to grab that paint. Then I've been really loving adding brown. There's some brown here. I'm just going to add it in there just to mute it down so it's not so intense. A little more brown won't hurt. The greens, you can see that I just kind of put down whatever. I don't stress about it, and I don't try to get them perfect either. Okay, so you shouldn't either. Little ovals. Just very sketchy, holding your brush very loosely. And we'll put a stem in there so it'll make sense. One over here too. Da-da-da-da. So the second thing I wish I had learned like right away was water control. Water control, like understanding it, really understanding it, and learning to embrace when I choose not to do the water control and then just get blooms, right? Okay, blooms. What are blooms? Let's do some more of these things. Blooms are these things that people find to be very annoying. Do I want another one? I don't know. I'm gonna put one down here. Blooms where you've got them right here, right? So too much water in one area, or adding water to this area after you've put down paint, it pushes the color and it dries unevenly and makes these blooms. So being able to know your water control, for example, boop, this thing right here is your best bet. So I'm going to grab some green to make my stem, but I also know that it's going to make a blob because there's so much liquid. So my trick is to just dab on the paper towel a little bit more, and then I still have the paint, but it's less runny. So then I just do a little line here. And that, my friends, is a big way to do water control, or just to take a little bit of paint. Press lightly with the tip of the brush. And now we've got a cool stem connection here. And so those things are tricky. Blooms, I have to say, blooms don't mean that you stink at painting or even water control. It just means that you're allowing these different little areas to have varying amounts of liquid, of paint and all that. And you're just going to go with it and you're embracing it. Okay? Don't tell yourself things that aren't kind and aren't nice. You need to be kind to yourself. And I'm trying to encourage you to do that. Because, if I don't encourage you, who will? We gotta do it. More paint, friends. So now I'm going to have stems here. Okay. So I want to say, let's do some curvy stems, and they're going to show through here, and that's going to be great. If you're liking this video, friends, please give it a like. I forget to ask for that. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And we have so much fun here. I really try to make it happen. make it exciting and fun, and where we can learn and grow together and just enjoy the process of creating. How many stems am I putting in here? I don't know. Does it matter? Not really, because no one's really going to count. And if they do, then that's on them. Just saying. So we want to start filling this in. Look at how cute it is so far. I'm loving the kind of peachy and orangey things that are happening. Look at your painting, friends, and take a breath. If you're forgetting to breathe, we're just going to take some time to like add in swipes here. And I always tell you, just to fill in greens, I always tell you, if I'm going too fast, pause the video or rewind or just slow it down to half time or whatever. I paint fast. This is how I do it, but you don't have to suffer. You can slow it down. You can go at your pace. Maybe you even want to paint faster than me. I don't know. I just know that when I paint fast, I don't overthink, and that helps my painting process. So I'm just doing like these little dabs, little swipes to fill in between flowers. I like a full vase of flowers and greens. Let's do some flick marks here. Maybe flick marks this way. And I really enjoy doing kind of the sketchy sketch lately. So let's just do it. Sketchy sketch. It has to be done fast. It's a flick of the wrist, friends, where you do not think about it too much, or else it ain't gonna happen the right way. Just saying. I don't know. So for me, that works. Maybe it's scary for you and you don't want to try, but you know what? We're using our cheap paper today. So where's the fear? It's all good. So this is coming together really nicely. I'm enjoying this. Look at what you enjoy about your painting so far. If there's anything you need to add at this point. I am going to do some splatter. Then we're going to dry. Then we're going to do our second layer. Okay. So I'm just going to go with this orange. Nice runny orange here. Pick it up. Tap, tap, tap in 3 places. That's what I'm doing today. Okay, let's stop the video. We're gonna dry and come right back. So see what I mean about this cheap paper? It's all coming together and it's looking cute, even though thin as anything. So we can do lovely things with whatever we have. One thing I forgot to do is I wanted to make this kind of bladey center where things are spreading a little bit. So I'm actually going to paint in really quickly a little bit of water, which sounds kind of funny, but I'm re-wetting it. I want it to be damp, and then I'm just doing that kind of middle part because I want the center to start to spread a bit and just look real cute. And we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna let it sit for a bit. Now we're gonna add in more. So just you go in with more concentrated paint, friends, with that smaller brush. So let's grab some orange. It's pretty dark. I love it. And I'm going to just do these like simple swipes like that. This one here, using the side of the brush with this awkward movement, arm movement. Quickly creating some lines just for that texture. Yellow ochre is what I've been using, so I'm just going to go for that a little bit here. I'm not really doing too much different, but just quick motions. I'm going to add a little bit of brown to my yellow ochre here. And just going to go around, dabby dabs, and darken it up. There we go. Little dabs. I just like to darken my centers a bit so they stand out. You don't have to darken everything here. Just a little, or whatever you want to do is also fine. So now we're going to see how this is going to spread. I want to go a little dark, so I've got my navy here. Whatever dark blue you want to use, and I just want to grab it really thick. I grab it thick. So can I do like a circle? I don't know how much it's going to spread, so I'm trying to be just cautious about it. Yeah, and just let it do its thing over here too. Going fairly wide. I was thinking it might spread inward too, but it's not really doing that, so that's good. I just love it when it naturally spreads like that, you know, with the water, kind of bleeds and gets these really cool fluffy edges. This one did not bleed as much. That's okay, it's more controlled. And that's fine. With watercolor, you cannot control everything, and it's a great life lesson to learn. Life is just like that. I'm going to take some of my turquoise now, just for the vase, and go around, just outline some of that. You can see that I don't rest my hand here. I just hover on purpose so that I can kind of get, let's do a little bit of this. Woo! So I can just get some of that sketchy look, less control. When we're trying to let go of perfect, sometimes we have to really allow ourselves those opportunities where the perfect goes out the window. And it just helps us with our mental health to be able to let go. Okay, some more concentrated green, friends. At this point, I am going to just go over some of those. Some of the lines, I'm not covering up all of these, everything that we put down, but I am darkening up just a little bit, a little contrast. So wherever you want to put it, it's not about where I'm putting it necessarily, it's about where you're putting, where you want to put those colors. Ooh, the sun's coming out again. And this is just supposed to be fun and whimsical and, you know, where you don't think about it too much. A little more orange. Darkness. We're not even going to put in a shadow down here today. So that's pretty much it for this painting. Add anything else that you would like, friends, and if not, thanks so much for joining me. Happy painting, happy mental health. Okay, now that we have painted and we have adorned ourselves with lovely watercolor feelings, I hope you enjoyed. And I hope that you've learned something new, especially for beginning, just maybe shifting your focus. So if I have a watercolor free class this week, then it's linked below, click the link there. Also my waitlist for Italy. I'm going to a retreat in Italy in 2027. It'll be October 2027. So I have a waitlist. Registration is supposed to open in October, but I plan on opening it after I get back from Scotland, and that's going to be at the beginning of September. So if you're on the wait list, friends, or on Patreon, then you get to hear first and foremost when registration is open, and you can sign up quicker that way. All right, guys, that's all I have to say, except you can join me on Patreon for exclusive content. Take a breath, Tammy. Relax, and I'll see you again in the next tutorial. Mwah!